Because listen, full glass.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's about to get interesting.
I already got some comments I'm gonna put out the post in a second.
All
Oh,
right. We are live, guys. Hello.
What's going on, people?
What's happening, everybody? What's going on?
Hello.
Welcome to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. Y'all know how we do. I'm Paulette.
This is Cullen.
it's your boy DeCarlo.
And I'm Tony.
Tony.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ooh, we got a hot one tonight. So, first of all, big shout out. Thank you, Tony, for joining us tonight. Guys, if you did not know, DJ Tony Hernandez is going to be joining the family. He's officially already joined the Porter family. But the Eye of the Storm television show, see, I'm thinking TV. So, the Eye of the Storm radio show will begin airing July 25th, right? Did we say July 25th? We did. Beginning at 7 p.m. and ending at 9 p.m. So you can definitely check out DJ Tony Sanchez for his show. But in the meantime, he's been hanging out with us here at Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. So, y'all, what's the tea? What's going on? What's happening?
What's happening?
Outside of the fact that, woo, hot topics, but we got some stuff that's happening in the brownstone. And we definitely want to talk about that. But it's so much happening in the news today. First of all, I know we got some hot topics, and the hot topics got videos that go with them too. But y'all, I don't know who I was talking to, but the news clearly states that something that I predicted was going to happen has already happened. Twitter. So Elon Musk has decided to back out of the deal. Is anybody surprised that he
No.
is backing out of
No,
No one's surprised.
Guess what?
not one soul.
I was gonna be surprised if the deal was gonna be a lot.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what that would have shocked me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, but
Yeah. I did too. I just always kind of figured that this guy, just from conversation I've seen him do, and hey everybody, y'all come on in here. This is what we want y'all to do. Before I even jump in further and we start going into these hot topics tonight with Cullen's Corner Hot Topics, let's go ahead and ask everybody that is listening to the sound of my voice, that sees us right now, go ahead and like, comment, share, let people know that we are on the air right now. Share it in our groups. So I know that we currently have Brownstone's Best. If you guys are not a part of Brownstone's Best, we do encourage you to go ahead and request to join. It's not a private group, but you can just join the group. It's completely up to you, but it's a good place for you to get some of those hot topics that you won't normally get on the Brownstone Center. And then you don't have to join the private group, which is the Corner Family. So it's completely up to you, your call. So there you go. So Elon Musk out here playing big games. And now Twitter is trying to sue him.
Yeah, I would too.
I would too. I would too.
no, man.
Yeah.
You been reneged on a deal that
How much? 44 billion?
It was
44 billion.
Would it be?
It would have been. Right. How you do that? But see, here's what's really interesting though. On the cool, what really got me was that they were so gung-ho for the merger. I don't know how in the world anybody didn't see that this dude was, one, not serious, but then number two, Twitter started letting people go. Like they were laying people off. Like, what was it, 2 or 3 days after the announcement was made? They went into like this layoff frenzy. But then they weren't. So they went on a layoff frenzy. But then also, here's something else that's really interesting too, is that they weren't the only ones. So there's a new company, and I'm very familiar with the company because they had a lot of virtual work and stuff. But there's a company by the name of GoPuff that was very similar to like Uber Eats or like Grubhub, whatever. They laid off like 20% of their workforce, I think like 2 or 3 days ago. So we're starting to see that unfortunate portion of the beginning of a recession is starting to happen. Now, the question that I have for you before we jump into our hot topics and stuff, and let me take a sip of my cold wine, is In the midst of all of this, we've also lost another company. I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Celio or CVO or whatever, but it was a Bitcoin company. So we have a lot of companies that are Bitcoin that aren't going to recover, that are already starting to file bankruptcy. So I'm seeing along my timeline, friends of mine who actually had money in Bitcoin and stuff like that. They're like, all my money is gone. First of all,
why did they leave it there?
why did you leave it there?
They should
Right.
Why? Period. Like, why would you do that? I'm just trying to figure out in my mind how all your money end up over there. Aren't we supposed to be smart enough to diversify funds?
Yeah,
See,
or take it out when you winning.
That's what
When you win.
that's what my grandmama called. That's bought sense. You bought that sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You paid
Yeah.
for that.
Clearly. Oh yeah, they absolutely paid for that for sure. I just definitely wanted to kind of put that out there. You guys start paying attention to what's happening out there. And one of the things that we're doing right now is we're starting to share different deals. We actually started sharing deals on Amazon Prime Day, and that's going to continue. So go ahead and like the Brownstone Center or Brownstone Worldwide on Facebook, and also go ahead and join Brownstone's Fest. It's best that you do that now. Best, get it? Because you're going to get exclusive deals and sales that you can't get anywhere else. You'll be able to get it through the Brownstone Center. Besides, we would have already researched it for you. So we already have some deals that are already up. They started again today. We have a deal with, let's see, there's a deal on there now. Now I have a brain fart. So we have a couple of deals today. Number one on the Brownstone Center is first of all, oh, I know there's one. There's a mini brands. I don't know if you guys know, like these little balls, and they have like tiny little toys and furniture and stuff in there. That's on sale today. We also have a big one. So if you are a member of Amazon Prime, you can get a year of Grubhub for free. This is exclusively for Prime members. The link is in the Facebook group, Brownstone Worldwide. And again, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can go ahead and get that link. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. I would definitely go ahead and check it out. Once again, you are paying attention to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. Yo, we got some heck of a topics tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about tonight? Who want to get started?
We can talk about the play the video first, then we'll talk on the other.
Which one? Because we got three.
The young lady about child.
Oh yes. Okay, let's start with the young lady first, and then we'll come back and ask those questions. So, ladies, question for you, really quick: do you think that you should not accept or receive child support from the non-custodial parent? I'm going to put it that way, so we remain as gender fluid as possible. How about that? All right, here we go.
Put my baby
Let's
father
go ahead and share
on child
this
support.
video.
Well, I'm gone, he's gone, or the baby's gone. We have to communicate because I believe in it.
Where'd she go? Come on now.
I'll never put my baby father on child support. Well, I'm gone, he's gone, or the baby's gone. We have to communicate because I believe in family. So until one of those things happen, that man needs to be your friend. And you can't build a friendship when you get the courts involved to put him on child support to make these small ass payments because you're low key living off the payments. Child support to be spiteful and to, try to help maintain their life. I'm not built for that, okay? I would rather just work a little bit harder and deal with the headache of having to work a little bit harder or go a little bit harder than to put my baby daddy on child support. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting my baby.
Do we need to play that again?
No.
Yes, because it blocked me out.
Okay.
I'll
just a second.
We're going baby father on child support.
The reason why I want to play it
he's
again
gone,
because I need y'all to hear
we
what
have
this young lady just said.
Because I believe in family. So until one of those things happen, that man needs to be your friend. And you can't build a friendship when you get the courts involved to put him on child support to make these small ass payments because you're low key living off the payments. Child support to be spiteful and to, try to help maintain their life. I'm not built for that, okay? I would rather just work a little bit harder and deal with the headache of having to work a little bit harder or go a little bit harder than to put my baby daddy on child support. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting my baby.
Okay. Thoughts?
Clear. Let's okay. I don't have nothing to say right now. I'm gonna let y'all go first.
Well,
Go ahead.
I can start off. So
Yep.
when I first heard the video, yeah, hey, to each his own. I'm like this. I paid child support. I've done it. I did it for years. Had no problem doing it. There was a lot of ups and downs with it. With everyone. But as far as not putting them on child support, see, there's when you may run into some legalities, some problems. I would rather put myself on child support, and then we can be friends, and then be civil because we have to co-parent. But I'd rather me not be in the crosshairs of the government and just do my thing and pay my child support. I'm still gonna take care of my child, and that's the thing. I understand where she's going, and you have to be friends. You want to this and that, but I don't know. I just think I understand her point. I think she makes a valid point.
Yeah.
But I think that you also have to, as a man, you also have to protect yourself and still, give, because you're going to give the money anyway. So make sure that the government is competent and make sure that, 5 years from now, they don't say you have a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't pay you 5 years behind and she secretly put you on it because she got mad.
You know what?
Yes. It happens. It happens. It happens.
Listen. Oh my word. Would somebody really do that?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, Paulette.
Please don't be that. Please don't
Oh
be
my
that.
God.
You know what? I'm finna go.
Look, I need a shot of liquor for this. So let me give you from a sense so you'll understand.
Come on, get to it.
So yes, there's things I can look at. Do I agree with her? Yes, I agree with that lady and to a certain extent.
Okay.
But and here's the reason why. If the father and the mother are working together as one and they're taking care of their child and they're making sure that the child is good. That's the key word. The child is good. Then yes, there's no need for that man, or even on the flip side, that woman, to be on child support whatsoever. There's no reason because they're doing both their job, they're at peace, they're doing what they need to do. Now, if the daddy or even the mother, let's remember, there's a lot of deadbeat mothers out there too. If the father or the mother is not doing what needs to be done for the sake of that child, yes, things need to be taken care of. Put the person on child support, or in a sense of a lot of us, put yourself on child support to protect you in certain situations because you don't know what you're dealing with when it comes to the parent once you're not together anymore, because there's a lot of things that go on inside the system that really does affect whether the child is being taken care of or not. People are selfish. We all know that type of stuff. But now, to get to Paulette's part of, do women use that as a weapon? Yes, they do. There's a lot of women that get mad at certain situations, even when the father is doing his job of making sure that the child is taken care of. There are situations, and I've heard them through the grapevine, where men will put on there spitefully to put them into the system. And everybody knows, like Cullen says, you could be sitting there 4 or 5 years taking care of your child, doing everything you're supposed to do as a father, and then all of a sudden, here come a big, huge document, thick, look like a book, coming to your house being served, saying that you are on child support, and then you get back pay, and then you're getting towed up. And the minute that you miss any of those payments, you will get arrested, or you will lose your passport, and they don't tell you this stuff. And people forget those things. You can't get your taxes. You can't file for a passport. And there's so many other things. Texas will not even let you. Texas will not let you renew your tax, driver's license, or anything if you're behind the child support services. So it's deeper if people actually read into the fine print of understanding what child support does, especially to African American men who are trying to their best to make sure that their child is taken care of and things like that. They can be put into the system and don't have a record to save their life. But if they miss a child support payment or if anything like that, they are in that system for life.
Yep.
Until that bill is taken care of.
Okay.
So there's a lot.
I just want to mention one thing. You know, a lot of things. You know, a lot of people talk about co-parenting and
Yeah.
everything. You know, you can have the same rights, right? You know, both of you can split the rights, but the difference is who has the custodial rights. And most of the time, it's the mom who has the custodial rights. Even if the father wants to have custodial rights, it's really up to that mother to give it up if she can't handle, take care of her thing. Because what happens is, I'm not saying everyone does it, but a lot of people want to still have that same lifestyle as they were when they were a couple.
Yes.
They want to have that. They don't want anything to change. And my personal opinion is, hey, you can handle it. You can handle it. If you want me to handle and have my son and do whatever I need to do to take care of him, let me have my son. Let me have custodial rights. The problem comes in is that when the mother has custodial rights, she can always say, "Well, he's a deadbeat. He don't want to take his son. This and that. He's doing everything he wants to do. He's doing everything he should." But she wants more. She wants more.
Right.
She wants everything. She wants everything it was when you guys were either together or married.
Right.
Okay, so help me.
Where the problem comes in.
So help me to understand, because see, I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I
Yes.
know you guys, right? So I know that y'all handling your business, and I understand that you've gone on with your lives, and that the children still have moms and so forth. I absolutely 100% get it. It blows my mind for me to sit here and to hear people say, to hear y'all say, "Oh well, she can be spiteful, she can be this." Let me just say, I can only go from my own personal experience. And as a single mother with 4 children, first of all, let's just say, I don't know how in the hell I made it through
I don't either.
as a single parent. And I think, Cullen,
But you did. Yeah.
And I did. But see, here's the issue. I shouldn't have ever had to. Follow me. There were years that somebody's daddy didn't pay a dime. And I ended up going to the child support office because you live in the life of Riley. I can't even get child care payments. You chilling, you kicking it, you going on tours and stuff like that. But yet it's still, your daughter still needs child support so that she can go to daycare, so I can go to work, so I can go to class, right? It was never an issue of me taking the money to live off of, because first of all, it wasn't no damn money. What's $60 a week? That ain't no money. Shit, what am I gonna do with that? Let's talk about that just for a minute. So while we're talking, and now again, I'm coming from my perspective, okay? I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective. First of all, $60 to $65 a week ain't no money, okay? It ain't, because you got to figure that it costs money for kids to go to school. It costs money for kids to eat. It costs money for kids to do the after school activities. We're not gonna talk about the fact that KJ is in a program where he's literally a gamer. I didn't even know that was a sport. And so everybody ordered these t-shirts. The damn t-shirt was $65. The sweatshirt was $65. And I thought, oh my God. And so when we're talking about, first of all, I don't know anybody that can live off the little money. And this is no cut to the cast that's doing it. Off of the little money that the government or the judge says that they're supposed to provide. That's number one. But then you got some dudes that's get in the system and they still don't pay. They still don't pay. Okay. And eventually the only reason why they start paying is because, like DeCarlo said, their driver's license was taken away. And even in one of my kids' dad, he actually lost his optician's license because he hadn't been paying child support on a regular basis. Well, that's on him. Because again, $65 a week ain't no money. Okay. That's not even grocery bill money. Right. But you make it do what it do. And I'm the kind of person, if you think that that's all it takes, I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm going to allow the children to see for themselves where daddy stands with them. I don't call. I'm not begging you. I never have, never will. If you want to not do anything for your child, I'll figure it out. But let me tell you what I did do. All of them were put on child support. Because how dare I, first of all, exempt my child of their rights to any kind of support from their parent, their non-custodial parent. Okay. And I just kind of feel like in this situation, it's always a two-way street because I'm hearing it from you all's perspective, and I understand. But then there are those brothers out there that could care less if their kids eat a piece of fucking bread. Let's talk about that, okay? And I'm living witness to that. Don't care whether their kids is breathing or not, ain't messed up about it, none of that. See, that's a totally different thing. Then yes, you need to be on somebody's child support. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the reason why I did it, because I was struggling as a young parent. I was really, really struggling. I didn't have any support. I was trying to go to school, taking the kids to school with me because I couldn't afford it. So you talking about all of these things, and then what kills me is I've seen memes online where people talk about, oh well, she taking that money, she going to get her hair, her nails done. How, on what? Do you know how much it costs to get your nails done today? Do you know how much it is to get a weave?
But Paulette, there are situations like that where those things do occur, where the child is not being taken care of. I'm telling you, well, you can't. But here's the thing, and I have to say this in a real way: you can't base it on just your perspective. There's a lot of men who actually do the things for their child, and they're astronomically paying large amounts of money to take care of the needs of their child. And sometimes the woman is not working, period.
Thank you.
And that man is taking care of a household. But and here's an example. When you see a child sitting up here in cutoff jeans, a t-shirt, and the mama is cute, and this man is sending out maybe $1,200-$1,300 a month in child support, and the child looking busted, but the mama ain't, that is a problem.
I've never seen that. I hear about this.
But there's a reason. You're a different perspective from a lot of women. That's the real thing.
Hold
and
on,
I'm just
okay,
saying that.
Hold on.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Look at Cullen.
Tony. Before I talk, what you got to say, man?
Man, because I was like, man, they sent me the link to be here, and I ain't said but hi. That's all I said.
My bad. And if I went overboard, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Because like I'm getting it from my two brothers, and they giving it to y'all real. You dig what I'm saying? This is real. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with the young lady to a certain extent myself. You dig what I'm saying? I respect her for being a strong, independent young lady who was raised properly. See, right. Somebody in her household showed her the proper way to be about bringing up children. You know, right. Now, when we get off into those other things with the alphabet people, see, we got to realize back in my day, I'm 63. Back in my day, the alphabet people was the ones that broke up families. That didn't want the family unit and all of that there together. So when I see people coming at it from that point of view, I'm like, okay, well, the ADC, them alphabet people, they broke up families. The father couldn't even come. A man couldn't stay in the house. All that type of stuff.
I remember that.
We had to hide toasters and all that type of shit.
Sure did.
So child support is a catch-22. To tell the truth, to be honest, it's a catch-22. It's designed. Right. It's designed to keep us in order. So, hear me out.
Because there, like you said, there's a lot of situations that you have to look at it and see that there's men out here that's trying. I've known men working 2-3 jobs so they can live. Where the man is probably making $40,000-$50,000 a year, but probably about 60% of that money is going to the need of the child. When they're sitting there in a 1-bedroom apartment, spending that quality time with their kids and things like that, well, the mother's living her best life collecting a check. And then 9 times out of 10, got another man in the house or whatever situation that she has going on. So you have to look at it in so many scenarios where everybody's story is completely different.
It's different.
Does it work for a lot of men? Yes, because it takes the red tape away from the man. And then even the woman in certain situations. It takes the red tape away where you're saying, hey, it's not about saying, okay, I'm doing my part, but everybody in this room have children.
Yeah,
There's moments sometimes where a kid don't need $500 a week.
show don't. Show don't. And that's a fact. And we all know it.
Before we read these topics, I just want to
Yeah.
say, I mean, before we read the comments, I just want to say that, yeah, just like Carl said, every situation is different, right?
Yeah.
So there are instances where, a person will be paying child support. I don't have anything against child support at all. I think it's all good. Get your child support, get as much as you are allowed to get.
Yeah.
The 18% or whatever it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
So
for the right purpose. That's
the problem comes is when the man is vilified for paying for doing his job, but because he's not a part of that household, he's not doing enough.
Right.
He might be having his own. Y'all probably didn't get to stay together. Y'all parted ways. You decided you wanted to keep the kid as the custodial. He had no problem doing it himself. I'm just saying in a lot of circumstances, they give the custodial rights to the mother.
To the mother.
Right.
A lot of states are skewed toward the mother. So
Yeah.
even if the man wants to have custodial rights, he will not get it.
Yeah.
And so the problem lies is, okay, I'm getting is $500 or $600 a month, and this is not going to do nothing. I don't understand. I mean, you still have to live your life. I still have to live my life. I might have a whole new family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't give you 50% of my check. And again, here's the problem. A lot of guys will say, hey, if you can't handle it, we still co-parenting, but if you cannot handle it, if you think it's too much, let me have my daughter. Let me have my son.
Come on.
A lot of women won't give up those custodial rights because he'll give up that check.
Yes.
So
yes.
Give up that kid.
Go ahead, read some comments, DeCarlo.
All right, let's go into it. Because it's gonna get real. It might turn into a virtual WEE wrestling match in a minute.
Yeah, I'm ready to go in. Go ahead.
So shout out to Kim Alexander. She says, I have to work into the night. Number one should have men who know the child support system, voluntary and by force. For me, it's simple as this. If you did not have several real discussions with your partner about who wants children, when and why, and she is still living by herself, then she keeps asking all kinds of questions. Child support system, wait a minute, this is kind of weird when it's set up. Child support system is not the custodial parent's money, it's the child's money.
Absolutely.
And this is true. The custodial parent is simply entrusted to spend it towards expenses related to raising their child. But what do I know? My ex hasn't paid a cent in about a decade. Now that's her point of view.
Right.
Here's another one. This is from Lori Extreme. It's one thing if you have an involved father who's buying what the child needs. That's not every father. That's what she's saying. She only saying this because he must be involved. And that's what she's saying about the lady who's doing the video.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not helping trust, she will be singing a different story, which is true. And for the record, child support is not enough to live off of, as she said.
Period.
No, but we know that child support is not meant to be. But in cases, and every man that has set up in a courtroom or set up, in a legal system who had to deal with this realizes that there's a lot of women out there that has an envious spirit in them that will try to go to extreme to really break down the man himself, because either A, they didn't work out, B, he decided he wanted to move on in the situation and she wants to get back at him. A lot of people don't see that, but there's women who do those type of things.
Oh, yeah,
and that becomes the problem. And then like I said, let's go back to the main thing. The child support system back in when it was first started was built, it was set up during a time frame where the man was making $100 and the woman was getting 10% of that $100 a week. But see, here's what happens. It grows, it changes. Now the system is set up where if that man or even a woman makes a mistake and is not able, even if they lose their job, there is not a grace period for that man to sit up here and try to see if he can get something arranged. You still have to pay whatever that allocated amount is, and that man can go into a deeper hole if he's having a hard time trying to find work or anything like that. So that makes the system even deeper, where that man could be in the legal system where he's getting into a lot of trouble, and all he's trying to do is take care of his child.
Take care of his kid. And there's always hidden agendas and motives and all that old type. You know, you got, man, I'm telling you, this is like, when you talk child support, this is like a can of worms. This is a whole nother battle. And man, you will get the pluses and the minuses with this here. You did. But everybody will never come to a plain agreement on this.
That's right.
So really quick though, I think, hey, you guys, thank you, Eric Birchfield, for the comments. My goodness, he's really going in. He says, need to remember that child support is to directly support the child. It is to cut the expenses of having a child in half. He goes further on to say that you cannot start to review a problem at its end, which is kind of where we are. Truth issue is there are failed marriages, not only failed marriages, but failed relationships. Period. You will not get to a position like this if you focus on your marriage or relationship, etc. So I get where you're saying. And he also ends by saying, if you are trying to use the child support to live on, first of all, I don't know how, well, anyway, from what I was getting, just give the kids to the father, which is what Cullen says. That's not its purpose. But see, here's the thing. What happens a lot of times, guys, and I'm coming again from a single parent's perspective as a single woman. Most of the time, the guys don't want kids. They don't be bothered.
That's not necessarily true.
I'm going from my perspective, Jim. I can only go by mine.
You're right, Paulette. There is those.
So,
there is.
Because now my oldest daughter, her dad and I, we had joint custody. Okay. So, but the problem became when she got a certain age, he didn't want to do his part based on what our court order said. And he didn't want her to come and stay with me. So it became a battle. And I'm not one to fight and I'm not one to battle because, see, I believe in my peace. I knew he wasn't going to hurt her. I fell back because I'm not getting ready to have you. First of all, y'all already saying I'm a bad mama because she's staying with y'all. You see, so that's one perspective that we don't hear a lot about. When the parent does say, hey, and it's usually the mom who makes the decision to say, you know what, you got this. I know you're going to take care of her because I knew he was. But the backlash that I got, even to this day, honey, and I'm in my 50s, I still hear how much of a shitty mother I was. Really? When and so those are things. And so you hear that a lot when the mother doesn't take on the child like that and it becomes a joint custody issue and dad is going to take care of it and so forth. The stuff that I hear about me now still blows my mind. Okay, so I'm cool with it. You know, like I said, she's full grown. She's actually getting married in 2 weeks. And so I'll be heading home to attend that soiree. But what I'm saying is most times, I know for me, again, in my situation, these kids' daddies, they want nothing to do with them, still don't. And I got the baby boy left. He's 15.
Yeah, well, you're right. Because
you see what I'm saying? So it's
the thing you're talking about is what happened with you. What the way people are talking about you, that's what always happens to the guy.
Yeah, that happens to the man all the time.
No matter what, it always happens to the guy.
It
don't matter what they did or what they if the woman say that, you know, he ain't shit. He this, you know.
Ooh, child, the times I heard that, oh, she ain't nothing. She ain't did what she supposed
that's what I'm saying. So
and the stuff that they fed my child built up a level of animosity. That's a whole different conversation for us. We're talking about child support. Right. And you know, I just all I wanted folks to do was to do their part. And when you don't, then I just shut up because at the end of the day, it's really not about me. Because eventually that child is going to find out for themselves.
Right. It costs the child, because the thing my father, and shout out to Running Hills, but my father said something to me so real, and I live by that every single day. He said, eventually your child is going to ask questions.
Yep.
Just do the best you can and be prepared just to have a great conversation and be honest with that child when that moment comes.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we're going to throw it to Vet. So let's
All
get into
right.
our break.
Yep. So you guys, this was a really good topic. If we want to continue this conversation, here's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do. Head over to Facebook, go to Brownstone's Best. That's what you're going to search for, and you're going to join the Corner Family, the group. If you want to join the private group, you'll have to reach out to Cullen Carey or myself or DeCarlo to get into the private group. But we also have Facebook, Brownstone Worldwide, where you can go, you can get all of those deals that I've been talking about. Once again, you are currently listening to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. That is also available after this broadcast. It will be available on replay tomorrow, and also on Saturday at 6 p.m. on KCCR Radio, the Brownstone Center. We want you to go ahead and download the app. We would absolutely appreciate it if you would do that. And if I'm not mistaken, it's already scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Download the KCCR My Brownstone Living app. You can listen in to shows like The Day Shift, which airs weekdays. And also you have the Sunday Brunch, which airs on Sundays. We're in the middle of an actual series right now called Mind Your Own Business. The past 2 weeks, it was Wake Up. The second week was Get Up. This week coming up, it is called Make a Plan. So make sure that you are staying connected to what's happening, all things Brownstone Worldwide. You guys, I believe we have another topic that is off the chain.
Yes.
Which one do we go with, child?
Let's go ahead and talk to the Lord.
You want to talk to Jesus? Come to Jesus.
Yeah, let's go and talk to the Lord.
Now, you ready? Here we go.
I come, Jay, really embarrassed that the Black House is doing what Black churches have failed to do. Can you imagine the integrity it would mean for so many people if you went in a Black church and at the end of the year, they told you how much money they raised. That at the end of the year, they told you how much in salaries were paid. That they were able to point out how many people did they help buy houses, to start businesses, and to really do the work of the community. Something is out of order for the Black church if the only time you hear about economic development is when we ask for the tithe. I cannot just ask for the 10% and not realize my responsibility is to multiply the 90. I say to Black people, never go to a church where you can tell which car belongs to the pastor.
That's deep.
Of course, that was Pastor Jamal Bryant. He is the current pastor of, what's the name of that church here in Atlanta? That was run by anyway, it was long. And I am blown away that he's even having this conversation because I actually attended New Birth. That's the name of the church. New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. That's where I attended, and I was under the tutelage of Bishop Eddie Long before all hell broke loose. What you say?
That wasn't me.
So y'all, I don't have any words because he's right. I'm gonna share something with y'all that actually happened while I was at New Birth. So back in the day when I was living in Atlanta, real quick, I gotta tell you this. While I was at New Birth and Bishop Long was the pastor, he's absolutely correct. Now I will say this. Bishop Long and the church were constantly giving away cars, houses, XYZ. But I'm gonna tell you something, never not once did I ever get a report of how much money I had donated to the church. Never not once did I ever reach out to the church and ask for support to help pay my mortgage or my rent at the time. And did I get it? Never did, never did, never did. You know what they would do? They would go back through to see how much money you had given them. And if you had missed a month, if you had missed a month or even a week, you were denied said monetary support. And they would give you a list. Yeah. Oh, yes, honey. They didn't say with you.
Big business. Big business.
Wow.
Big business. Absolutely. They would literally be
I got stories.
Listen, they would send you a list with Salvation Army, United Way, all of them, and say, go do what you do. Now, I'm a parishioner. I've been going here all of these years. I've been paying my tithes. And then, y'all, this was around the time of the housing bust when it was first starting to happen. Remember that? And I was senior systems engineer, y'all. I was living in Buckhead. I was doing real good. Working for Erickson, kicking it, making it, big money back then. 70 cents back then was a lot of money, for a young girl. So when I lost my gig and I had to reach out because I couldn't pay daycare. See, these were the times where child support became important to me because with certain things, my daughter's lifestyle was impacted. He refused to pay. So that's a whole, again, all of that gets encompassed in this. But when I hear Pastor Bryant literally make and hold Black churches accountable, that should be across the board, right? But here's the issue. We are asking Black churches who have been on the corner of every community, next door to the liquor store. The pastor can't hardly read. The parishioners are waiting on him because they don't know the word themselves. This dude probably can't even rub his own two nickels together. And we're asking people to start asking for an annual report of what they gave. These churches is in the red. DeCarlo look like he, come on, y'all.
No, go on. You speaking now. Come on, sister. Come on, sister. Keep going.
Can I know this? Can I go here? Ooh, I'm about to go. I'm about to dig all the way real deep. Listen. So listen. From someone who has been in ministry, and I ain't just talking about I was somebody's first lady. No, I work behind the scenes. Right. I saw how ministry runs, and these cats don't know they from their appetite. Do you hear me? Most of them couldn't tell you what was in the bank account because as soon as the money ends up in the tithe basket, they're taking it out, counting it up, and they're putting it in their pockets. Ask me how I know, because I would be back there in the back in the office, and they would have the money strewn out on the floor. We talking about bishops, honey, a Church of God in Christ organization. So trust me, I've seen it. And these are the people that we want to do what? No. We might as well just take all of the churches, throw them away, and start over. I'm done.
You would think that, you know, the church, I agree with the pastor. I think that that's what they should be held accountable. I think that,
absolutely,
you know, there's so much power in the church, but the churches have not been doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know, and that's the community's fault as well, because we're giving them that power.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I mean, it's you know, it goes round and round, and you know, to me, in order for that to stop, it has to be the head of that church.
I agree.
Just like Pastor Jamal Bryan is saying, if he sees that the error of his way, and he's saying, you know what, I shouldn't have a Bentley, and these people they taking the bus to church, that shouldn't be that way. I'm going to help them out. And you know, and there are a lot of churches. I'm not saying there's a lot of churches that don't do it. There's a lot of churches that do it. You know, I've been to a couple of churches here where, you know, they bought some of their people houses.
Yeah.
Because they were homeless, and they bought them houses, or they got them apartments and paid their rent for a year. That's what a church is supposed to do. It doesn't matter if you missed a tithe or anything. That, to me, that's crazy. I mean,
I agree,
because you didn't get a paycheck that week. You know, so
absolutely.
What you got, Tony? What you got for me?
You know, this is it's blowing me because I've been in ministry too. You know, and the behind the scene, and everything you were saying is absolutely true. See, the biggest pimps in the world is the churches, man. You dig what I'm saying? And
wow, say it again.
The biggest pimps in the world is the churches, man.
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
The biggest pimps in the world is the church. Wow. You know, especially that Catholic church.
Oh.
And I'm a Catholic, and I'm here to say it. You dig?
Wow.
Man, I'm just keeping it 100, man. Cause man, look, once we get past all of the trying to pull the wool over our own eyes, you know, and face the truth and see it for what it really is, man, the churches ain't never really been helping with the intent that they supposed to have been doing since the get-go.
Yeah.
Since the get-go, you know. And people gonna do what you allow them to do.
Yeah.
Because in most of these ministers' eyes, if it ain't broke, I ain't trying to fix it. So if I got this going, and ain't nobody gonna challenge me on this here, we gonna let it ride. You feel what I'm saying? We gonna let it ride. So now all of a sudden, I don't know, he must have got a divine stroke of lightning hit his butt, and he got an intervention. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, I got to back up what I'm saying because I'm driving the roads and there's some people riding the bus. That ain't right, you know. So now I'm wondering now, is it you doing it for the real deal, or is you doing it just to try to escalate yourself up a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? See, it's always a hidden agenda in everything. And you don't know a person's real and true motive, no way.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So you got to take all aspects into angle. I get what he's saying, but what's your hidden agenda? That's what I want to know. That's
well,
what I know.
You know, I asked that same question, Tony, because he's actually heading one of the biggest mega churches right here in Atlanta. And it kind of blew my mind when I saw the video when Cullen shared it. I was like, wait a minute, that's coming out of his mouth? What? You know, and I think because I don't know if maybe he's trying to, you know, turn over a new leaf or whatever, because, you know, he's got some shady stuff in his past or whatever too. Yeah. But at the same token, we all do, you know, and we all fall short. So I'm trying to give the brother the benefit of the doubt. So maybe, just maybe, if you attend his church, see, it could be a membership drive on the low. I'm learning a lot of things about how people actually market to our community. And a lot of times it's by doing things like what he's doing. It could have easily been, oh, well, you know what? I think I like this church because he's doing right. He's going to show me what I'm making, you know, what I've contributed to the church, XYZ. Their member rolls might be super low, which doesn't surprise me because we're still in the middle of COVID. It hasn't gone anywhere. Right. And people have gotten used to doing a lot of things virtually now, like, you know, worshiping from home, if they're worshiping at all. And 9 times out of 10, honey, if you worshiping from home, let me tell you what you're not doing. You're not tithing.
No.
You're not.
And if your pastor got a cash app for you to tithe, you better look into that.
Okay. So listen, I need to read this here. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom of the screen. Eric Birchfield actually has something that he wants to share with us here. Read Black in Selma by J.L. Chestnut. Speaks to the church, especially Black church in Alabama during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This idea of selfish behavior has continued from the beginning, Tony. The further we get away from God, the further we are away from God, meaning as the birth of our Lord continues to distance itself from us, we continue to distance ourselves from him. Church, no exception.
Absolutely.
That's true. I agree.
Great.
I agree.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
And I can understand it from Pastor Brian's point of view, where he's probably, here's the biggest thing that I've looked at. And when he said that, I was not shocked. And here's the reason. I think in a lot of ways, people are getting away from the church. Yeah. Let me tell you what the pandemic did. The pandemic made everybody wake up and realize that spirituality is done within themselves. And for many, many years, and we can go back to the test of time, when African Americans came to this crazy ass country, where this religion was fed to us and forced to us. So I ain't finna go there because it's gonna go into a whole nother subject. But you have to look at the reality of what's going on. People are starting to wake up and pay attention to what they're doing in their everyday lives. And is the church making a difference? In some cases, yes. If you look in my hometown, yes. I know a pastor right now. Shout out to him, Pastor Vernon R. Thompson. That man worked 30, 40 years across the street over here at this mill and still went on and preached to church. Now, if I'm going to pay my 10% to any church, I'm going to pay it to him and his church because he is doing great things in the community. And he showed for many years, I ain't really using this money because I got to keep this church going. I got to do God's work. So I'm finna still go over here across the street, throw some lumber around and all this stuff. And he retired maybe like 10 years back. But what I'm saying is there's actual preachers that get the bad rep for who they are because of people like Pastor Bryant, God bless him, I like him, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen. We can name a bunch of these mega church preachers. We can go to Little Rock, Arkansas right now and talk about St. Mark, St. Luke, all the churches that you can think of, Second Baptist Church. I remember being at Second Baptist Church, and God bless my brother. He has told me a lot of stories about, you know, how the church works. The church is a show. It's not about uplifting the spirit. It's not about enhancing your spiritual background. It's a show to try to see if we can do two things: make you scream and shout and take some of your money so we can pay some of these bills and pay some of these people. And that's what it turned to. That's the problem with it. We gotten away because we're not teaching the truth.
Mm.
We have gotten away from the church because we're not teaching the truth. I say it one more time for the people back behind Paulette and them blinds.
Right.
We are not getting away from the church because we are not teaching the truth.
Truth.
But
Right.
you know, and also DeCarlo is people also have to wake up because a lot of people they're like sheep, right?
Yes.
We cling on to any kind of hope, but then you have to also use your better judgment. God gave us free will and gave us a mind to think. And if you see something that's not quite right, and this is the way the church is supposed to be, go to a different church.
Yeah.
You may be getting fed spiritually at this church, but there are certain aspects of that church is just not hitting you right. That's when you make your decision, because in the end, it's your salvation, is your spiritual well-being. And if you see things that you don't have any control over, and you just turn the blind eye, you're just as complicit as the pastor. It's really the people in that church's responsibility too, because they're the ones who appoints the pastor in most churches, in most cases,
right?
And you're allowing that to happen. So sometimes we just got to take the power back.
And that's the key. The power is, and I'll tell any person, find your own spirituality first. Mm-hmm. Find your own relationship with God before anything else. Before you go into a church hoping that pastor such and such is going to lead you in the right direction. Yep. His job is to lead the flock, but you also need your own relationship with God.
Absolutely, man. I agree with that. It's a personal relationship, man. You got to know him for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got to know through some experiences in your life that it couldn't have been nothing but
God. You're right.
Because besides, I'm not going to a church unless I know a pastor that done listen to Tupac and Biggie, as well as Mississippi Mass Choir and the Winans. If they ain't got that in their playlist, I don't trust. I'm just gonna be like it is.
On that note.
On that note, yes. Once again, you are currently listening to KCCR Radio, the Brownstone Center. This is Cullen's Corner, BrownstoneWorldwide.com. We definitely wanted to let you guys also know that we got a couple of other things. Get more tips, topics, and talk with the Brownstone Living newsletter. Go ahead and sign up today. You can go to mybrownstoneliving.com, and you can also go to, you can go to mybrownstoneliving.com, and you can actually go here. bit.ly is also where you can go, and you can just put in bit.ly. If it'll come up at any time, that would be great. It almost did. Hang on just a second, y'all, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. bit.ly /Brownstone Living. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you direct access to the Brownstone Living newsletter. Actually, the new one comes out this weekend, and it's chock full of interesting information from Cullen's Corner, other hot topics that didn't get to make it to the air, and then also information about weddings for the summer, home decor, all of that cool stuff is in there. So go ahead, when you sign up under bit.ly /Brownstone Living, you'll enter 0 at checkout. It will automatically kick you out last month's newsletter. And then when the new one is available, it'll automatically send you out the new digital format of the new Brownstone Living magazine, because it's a little bit bigger. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. Now, listen, y'all ready for this last one? Because I think this is a really cool transition into this last one. And let me go ahead and pull it up, because listen, I don't have no words.
The teachings that I've shared in times past on the subject of tithing were not correct. And today I stand in humility to correct some things that I've taught for years and believed for years, but could never understand it clearly because I had not yet been confronted with the gospel of grace, which has made the difference. I won't apologize, because if it wasn't for me going down that route, I would have never ended up where I am right now. But I will say that I have no shame at all at saying to you, throw away every book, every tape, and every video I ever did on the subject of tithing, unless it lines up with this. I've done some corrective teaching in the last 10 years, but not to the degree of what we're getting ready to do now. So why is this important? Because religion is sustained by two factors: fear and guilt. And if it's one subject that the church has used for a long time to keep people in fear and guilt, it is in that subject of tithing. And it has to be corrected, and it's got to be corrected now. I may lose some friends, preachers.
I ain't that he been a crook since I went, man, please.
Okay.
If you believe that,
That's what you really feel, Tony.
if you believe that apology, and I'm telling y'all right now, if you believe that, you gonna burn in the pits of hell with his ass.
My Lord.
I'm telling you right now, Creflo been a crook from day one. Only reason he doing this little thing right here is called one of the guys we supposed to gave that money to, he didn't give it to, and dude spilled the beans, and now he got to come out here. He's trying to save his face and his behind, because both of them on fire, and he can't put them both out at the same time. So right now, I got to play on these words. See, watch that snake. He's a silver-tongued snake. Watch him. He gonna wiggle right out of this here, man. Creflo been doing this for a long time. Didn't I just make a reference about saying if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it? Just tie right into Creflo. Yeah, watch what I'm telling you.
Lord, Tony.
I'm just him and that Joel Osteen, boy, hell gonna bust wide open for them two.
I tell you, this has always been a topic of mine that I always had questions about, right? Because I was always taught 10%, whatever, 10%. I was never told why. Then once I started, I'm trying to understand the word and researching it myself, and I got to a point where it doesn't matter what that pastor, that church is doing with the money, as long as you give your 10%. That's on them. That's their responsibility to do what they're supposed to do with that money. But as long as you're giving the 10% of what you can give,
right?
Let's say that, because a lot of times they say, they count your pocketbook, and they oh, you ain't give enough. No, it's give what you can give.
Right. And that's where they twisted at right there, man. Yeah. Tithe don't necessarily mean monetary.
No, it doesn't. You're right. And a lot of times I've been at churches where, they teach their people, that's not the biggest thing, tithing, you tithe, you tithe. Of course they're going to teach it. Every church teaches it. Every church has to, they have to generate money, but they don't. Tithing is not supposed to be a money generator. You're supposed to do other things to generate money for the church, right? Tithing, you're not supposed to take a person's, rent money, because there's some places that do that.
Yeah,
give me your rent money and we'll double it. But on God, we'll double it if you have enough faith. And then when you don't have enough faith, that's on you.
That's on you.
Have enough faith.
You didn't believe hard enough.
And then that makes people want to shy away from church.
Yeah.
Because of people like Creflo Dollar. I'm a big proponent of spirituality. I believe in what I believe in. I don't need a church home.
That part.
To make me say, no, I'm not going to heaven because I have a church home. I would love to be able to, pray with other people and have the same, people have the same likes. But I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to learn, right?
Yeah.
But when you get those false prophets, because I'm calling him a false prophet
all day,
and even then, it might get to a point where he saw the error of his way and he's trying to come back. I can understand that. He has to show. He has to me, for me, maybe not a lot of people. He has to show me that he means what he says.
Absolutely.
And instead of throwing all that stuff y'all bought from my collection, instead of throwing it away, I'll give y'all your money back.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that ain't happening. He just
See, that's
you
the
know
thing.
that
That's the thing.
that is not happening.
Or we'll give you a free, something. It's just like it's like you didn't go. To me, he didn't go far enough.
Right. Make them words mean something.
That's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Let me just say, first of all, let's go deep into the word, shall we? Praise the Lord, saints.
Amen.
Y'all know I like to give a little backstory so that we're not just going off of our emotions. Tithing 101. Here's a couple of things on the fence about tithing. All right, so here's what you need to know. First of all, the tithe is the first 10%. According to Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 22, in the NIV version of the word, be sure to set aside a tenth of all that your fields produce each year. So, wondering how to calculate your tithe? It's easy. The tithe is the first 10% of your gross income before any expenses or obligations, including taxes. How do we know? Well, Proverbs 3:9 says, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of all your increase. That comes from the New King James Version. The dictionary defines first fruits as the first agricultural produce of a season, especially when given as an offering to God. It's also in Genesis, Leviticus, and in Hebrews. Now, there's something spiritually significant about giving God your first and your best rather than the leftovers. And it means something to him too, according to what they say. In Malachi 1:16 and 12, some of the priests at the temple got a bright idea. Instead of offering unblemished animals as sacrifices to the Lord, they decided to make sacrificing more convenient and cost effective. So they began encouraging people to give their blind and lame animals instead of the best of the bunch. The priests were giving God the leftovers instead of the first and best. Where's my honor, God says? Where's my reverence? Here's what I'm going to say. Nowhere in the word does it say that you're supposed to give money.
None.
That ain't what it said. What it said was, be sure to set aside a tenth of all that your fields produce each year. So when we do a little bit of back research on that, in which I have, it never says to give it directly to the church. What it says, and not just here, but it also says that you're supposed to put aside a tenth of your field's produce each year. That could be seed, that could be savings, that could be your annuity, it could be your IRA, it could be whatever. But at the end of the day, famine is going to come. Famine will come. Murphy's Law is a thing. And in my mind, the way that I was taught was not to give the church your tithe, because then we're going to be like I was when I was over there at Bishop Eddie Long Church asking for coins. And they said, oh, well, you missed a month paying tithes here. Wasn't making no money, so sorry, we can't help you. But what if I took my tithes, listen closely, folks, my 10% from each one of my paychecks or the first fruits, right? And I put that up in my own little coffer, in my own little thing. And my 10% of my tithe, since what's in me, it's a God in me. Oh, it's God in me. So if I'm God, I'm just being facetious, of course, but if God resides in me and I am considered to be the walking, talking church, then I need to make sure that I'm in a position to, number one, take care of my own household, and to also fill the cups of those, or not so much fill the cups of those, but offer the opportunity to be an extension or a help to someone who needs help, but also doing so in a cheerful manner, because what we do know is that what you put out is what you get back, right? So we're talking from a spiritual, we're talking from the laws of the universe here. You know, it's reciprocal. Whatever you put out is what you get back. So if I give, and I give with a cheerful heart, and one that is not haughty, or one that is being dark and like, dang, I hate to do this, but you know what? I know they need X, Y, Z. You should always be willing to give, because one thing that I know is that, number one, I always heard one thing from my mother: you cannot outbe God in giving.
You can't.
Can't do that. Okay. So when you have it, then the one thing that you should be able to do when you have your 10% set up, you should be able to, first of all, survive. And I am a proponent. Let me tell y'all something. I tithe. I tithe to my 401k, my IRA. I tithe to my personal savings. I tithe to those places. So whenever hell breaks loose at this age, I ain't got to go look for Leroy. I ain't got to look for Johnny. Honey, I ain't got to look for nobody, because I have learned my lesson that I need to put up my 10% on my household. You see, what did you say, Cullen? But you see what I'm saying?
That wasn't me.
Somebody gets it.
Somebody gonna get it.
Somebody gets it. Merry Christmas.
Hello.
What
Hello.
you mean?
I
Merry
love what
Christmas?
you said, Paulette. I love that because that actually makes sense to me. You know,
Right.
because
That does make sense.
of cheerful giving, that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, put away 10%, and then you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping those around you. And that's what the church is supposed to do. That, to me, that's if you're tithing to a church, and the church has their flock, and their flock is somebody in their flock is not doing well, reach out to that flock. And
That's right. There you go.
This is what we're gonna do for you. We don't need nothing back. We don't care if you didn't tithe all year. And that's the type of church I want to be a part of.
Right. You
know, a church that is gonna do what they're supposed to do. Not saying there aren't any churches like that, because I'm sure there are plenty of churches out in the world that are like the way we're talking about. I just haven't seen a few of them. I've seen one
right
that comes probably as close as it's probably going to get. Yeah. But unfortunately, I really love what you said, because that actually hits home for me. That actually makes a lot more sense than anything I've heard.
And I promise you, every time I get paid, I don't care what stream that it's from. Because see, that's something else that's in the Bible too. And my dad and I actually years ago, and y'all know about this. I don't know if you don't. If you don't know, let me tell y'all. My dad years ago, he studies with the Jehovah's Witness, and they really study the Bible. And so he was showing me a scripture, and it's in the book of Ecclesiastes, and it talks about having multiple streams of income. See, folks think that this stuff is brand new. It ain't brand new. My dad was like, oh, here, so you're supposed to have 8 streams of income, because you do not know which one will fall by the wayside. Well, if I know that, that's just wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know that I have to have multiple streams of income, which I do, I could do more, but I'm sitting on some streams of income. And of course, you have to pay out your little dividends or whatever you got to do. But at the same token, I'm always making sure that when some money come in this house, 10% put up, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Ain't no ring on nobody's finger. I ain't dating nobody. Listen, if something fall out today, I got to be the husband and the wife, and I have to make some decisions, and I need to be able to go into my personal hut or wherever my wheat stores are, and I need to be able to pull from that. I don't need to go to somebody's church, because I've had enough time to put up what I needed. Right. Yeah. So what did I do? And this is me telling my personal business, but this is how you tithe. I'm gonna keep it 100. 10% of your income. That should come right off the top. But the first thing you should do is pay yourself first. That's what a lot of Black folks don't do. First thing we want to do, we want to go pay pastor. So pastor can go take his wife out for her fish dinner on Fridays. The devil is a lie. I wish I would. I'm gonna take my family out first. How about that? Y'all can be mad if you want to.
You see me pointing at the screen, right? You just said a word. You know what? Where is my collection plate? Shit.
Where your fish at? You earned that fish. Get your fish first.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
But that's the problem. Yeah. So think about this. That's the biggest thing that we see now. Yeah. But look how long did it take for us to really get to this place when we figured it out.
Yeah.
So you got we're still removing over 400 years of these type of teachings.
What do you say? Fear and guilt.
Fear and guilt.
Yep.
Because think about. I didn't go to the church in the 60s and 70s. I was born in 78, so I got the 80s. I got the old pastors that were still wearing leisure suits.
Yeah, so I just going to say that the leisure suits.
Yeah, they were wearing leisure suits in the 80s. So they was preaching fire and brimstone, and that was the thing.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it from that standpoint, but it's still taking time. It's taking years and years and years of layers to try to peel back, so we can really see what it means to take care of your home and still have a relationship with God, and use those teachings for your household first. We just got here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's right. So we have
it is everybody own a Bible, but don't nobody take the time to get intimate with it. No more. I still open up my Bible to this day.
You know why? Because ain't nobody saying they, thou, thus, art. We ain't using them words. Yeah, we ain't using the words no more.
Right.
We ain't going to thou bathroom to use this.
Did you say thou bathroom?
We're not talking like that anymore. And that's the reason. Our language has changed over years. So nobody's taking the time.
What?
You know
What's
what
that?
else has changed? We have as a people.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're more knowledgeable. We're not afraid to go outside of the box. See, that's a lot of what's happening with our Black churches too, because
Right.
now that we know better, we do better. Now that we have and we understand financial literacy a lot more than Mama did, than Daddy did, than Big Mama did, and Papa Daddy did, we're doing better. Y'all heard me just sit here and say that I know that my 10% comes from my household and I put it in my household coffers. That is not a bad thing, because at any time that I get ready, I can donate, and I do, and I can extend my services and help to the community, and I do, and still will continue to do that. But I have to have a spirit of discernment of where my money is going. And if I see you walking around here, you driving around, yes, and Charlotte Cunningham says here in the chat, the ATMs now have the churches have ATMs in them. Yeah. Well, I've never used one, but they do.
Sponsored by Bank of America. Sponsored by Bank of America.
Yeah. I agree. So listen, let me tell y'all something. I think as we start to wrap it up, one of the things that we absolutely should do is have a financial literacy workshop. I'm with Cullen on that. Okay.
That would be great.
And I have a couple of friends that I can actually reach out to make that happen, because at this point in the game, financial literacy is really, it's going to empower us. But one of the other things that it's going to do as we sit here, we're having this conversation in the Brownstone, is this going to provide us with the opportunity to be better for our community.
Yes.
We can't do that when we're constantly giving it to the church. We can't do that when we're constantly providing services for Pastor to get some gas in his car. Like I said, take First Lady out. No, girl, I'm good too, because I want to be somebody First Lady too, my own self, okay? And so since that's the case, I'm going to take this First Lady out, and I'm going to take her to go have some crab legs if that's what she want to have. But at the same token, as we are older and we're learning more about money and so forth, as we wrap up, I will say this, Cullen, that's a great idea. I'm absolutely going to reach out to a couple of folks I know. It would be a great series for us to have, for sure, as we go into 2023, minding our own business. We absolutely should be financially literate while we're doing that. So that's a great thing for us to we should absolutely do a challenge. But let me just say this. I know we have to wrap it up. Cullen is tapping on the shoulder. Hey. So these were great topics. I think that we should put some of these in the chat and in Brownstone's Best. But let me go ahead and wrap it up real quick, you guys. Don't forget, download the KCCR My Brownstone Living the app and listen in. Don't forget, DJ Tony Sanchez is going to be joining us on KCCR Radio starting July 25th. Eye of the Storm will air on Saturdays and Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. On Saturdays, Eye of the Storm. That's going to be awesome, you guys. So
I should have just stood up.
Yes, you should have just stood up. How about that? Come on, T-shirt. Cullen's Corner airs, believe it or not, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. You'll get some of the replays on KCCR Radio. We have Nikema E. Her show goes and airs on Fridays, but you get the replays throughout the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. You want the hot lunch mix? You want to work out while you're getting your lunch and stuff like that? You want to grab something really quick? It's a 1-hour mix that is done by several different DJs that we know from around North America and the globe. So definitely check that out. We got the day shift that airs at 10 a.m. And if you want to see it live, you should check me out at 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then that is aired as well. We have Alan Edwards, who provides us with our news and information. It's changed and updated daily. You get news, fresh news all the time. We have Ear Hustling Radio. His entire podcast series for DeCarlo Collins is actually on the app itself. And I know that he is working on giving us some more content as well. So we have Marshawn Alanio, who's going to be joining the family. Her show is going to be airing. We're thinking about Sundays, but we'll definitely be chatting with her to find out what that's going to look like. We also have KJ in the Hall on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Of course, Clean the House music. So y'all, if pay attention to what I'm saying, y'all got talk, we got radio, we got jazz, we got gospel, we got words of encouragement, we got all of that. And y'all, if you want to be a part of the Corner family, I would encourage you to go ahead and listen into the app. We've got sales on there, a month of Sundays, the recipes, the Sunday brunch, all of that cool stuff that's happening. That's a part of it. And then, Cullen, I'm gonna let you let them know about that website that's after your name. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yes, the brownstoneworldwide.com is coming, y'all. You know, we're going into 2023. We're gonna bring out a lot of things, for everyone. You know, and I think this is about time for us to really shine, and especially a lot of our supporters that have been waiting, patiently for us to bring this out, and we want to bring you guys with us. So just give us another, hopefully by the end of the month, we should have a new website up and running, and it's going to be nice, and it's going to have everything you want. And if you see anything on the website that you want us to maybe add, or you have any insight or ideas, please, we will have an email where you can, bring your comments and questions too. So definitely.
Absolutely. Yep. And so there's the email, contact at thebrownstonesound.com. Here's what's going to be a part of brownstoneworldwide.com. Brownstone Marketplace. Head over to the Facebook group, the Brownstone Worldwide or the Brownstone Center. They're one and the same, right? And you'll see pinned at the top, if you want to get in now, the Brownstone Marketplace, you better get in, because after a while, the price going to go up. And guess what? The price is going to be the price. All right. That Brownstone Marketplace is going to provide you with 3 different tiers. You can choose from the stoop. You can choose to be a part of the corner, or you can be a part of the block. It's completely up to you. Those are your choices right there. Follow that. Go ahead and start paying attention, because like Cullen said, this is going to be a place for arts, entertainment, world news, politics, you name it, we're going to have it. Live events are coming. Matter of fact, the Sunday Brunch Live has their first event next month on August 21st, I believe it is. And then we have another one in October 23rd. The Sunday Brunch Live is coming up. So we have some other live events you don't want to miss next year as well. And we want to make sure that you're getting in the place, because we will be reaching out for vendors. And if I were you, I would try to get in now before all the space fills up. But more information on that as it becomes available. All right, guys, I don't have anything else. What about y'all?
I'll just say this: we're building a community, y'all. And we
Yes,
want you to be a part of it. We want you to be on the beginning, beginning aspects of it. And when it blows up, I want you to be there with us. So just continue to support.
All right, that's right.
Oh, you're right. Yes. And if you want to be one of those contributors to write content for Brownstone Worldwide, if you want to be on the air, please definitely reach out to us at contact@thebrownstonesound.com. All right, folks. Cullen, I'm going to leave you with last words. If anybody else doesn't have anything else, of course.
Hey, I'm just glad. Thanks for a great show tonight, you guys. Tony, you cracked me up, man. I'm telling you.
Keep it 100. Yes.
Man, thanks for my show. I've had a few people hit my phone up, wishing they could have stayed, but they really like the show. There are a few people that want to come on the show, and they have different things. We have a couple musicians and comedians that want to come on. So definitely, if you're a comedian, if you're a musician, you can come on as a guest host. We will put your music on the air. We'll put your music on the app. We'll showcase you. We'll give you a chance to get your stuff out. So definitely continue to contact us, and we'll make it happen for you.
For real.
Absolutely. I love it. Carlos, anybody else?
Oh, no, I'm good. Hey, everybody have a dope weekend. That's all I care about.
Yes, I know that's right. It's the weekend, baby. All right, so y'all, it's been real. Cullen has said his last words. You guys, this has been real. It's been Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. Again, it's Tony, DeCarlo, Paulette, and Cullen. We will see you on the next episode of Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. You all have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Deuces.